Hey everybody, Johnny here. In this video, I want to talk to you about two display tablets, the XP Pen Artist 13.3 Pro and the Artist 15.6 Pro. So a couple of years ago, I was looking to get a graphics display tablet, and I was a little put off by some of the high prices that I had found. But then I came across XP Pen, and I picked up their Artist 13.3 Pro tablet. So I've been using it for a couple of years now, mostly for Blender sculpting, and it's been working out really well for me. I reached out to XP Pen to see if they were interested in sponsoring the channel. So they agreed to do a channel sponsorship and upgraded my 13.3 Pro to a 15.6 Pro. So in this video, I want to run through the basic features of these two tablets and give you my opinion of how they've been working out for me. So let's jump right into it. Now these two tablets basically have the same spec sheet. The only major difference that I found was that the 15.6 has a slightly slower response time and slightly less reports per second. However, in actual usage, I really haven't been able to tell a major difference between the response time of these two tablets. They've both worked very well in that way. They don't feel at all laggy when I've been using them, so that's a good sign. Of course, the real major difference between the two is the screen size. 13.3 inches compared to 15.6 inches. They both have a 1920 by 1080 resolution and a viewing angle of 170 degrees. So no matter how you have it set up, you're going to be able to have a good view of the screen. So setup of both of these tablets is the same. It comes with this pigtail adapter, where on this end we have an HDMI input, which goes into our graphics card. We have this red USB, which goes into a power brick. We have this black USB, which goes into just a USB port on your computer, and that's going to control the mouse movement of your pen on the screen. And then finally, a USB-C cable, which goes into the display itself. And that's pretty much the extent of the setup. You set it up like a normal monitor, and then you run the drivers to determine So here's the 15.6. So here's the 15.6 all hooked up to my computer, running Blender 3.5 Alpha. So let's jump in and see it in action. Here we can see the driver screen. We set up which monitor we're going to be controlling and how that's going to be mapped onto our pen display. Under pen settings, we can set up the two buttons on the side of the stylus and then the pressure settings that we'd like, whether we want a very hard press or a very soft press. In addition, we can assign our 8 quick keys. And finally, we can set up the roller wheel and how we want it to interact with our computer. Another nice feature is that all of these settings can be done per application or completely globally if you want. Since I primarily use my tablet with Blender, my settings are all global. Here inside of Sculpt Mode in Blender, we can start to see the responsiveness. The way I have my stylus set up is the rear button on the stylus is my middle mouse click. So whenever I'm working, simply pressing the rear button on my stylus and moving around will rotate my object. If I hold down Control and do the same thing with my rear button, I can zoom in and out, and then holding down Shift and moving it translates. So navigating with the pen is very, very simple. I have the scroll wheel set up to change the brush size. Here I'll do some light strokes. And then a heavy stroke. An interesting experimental feature in Blender is Sculpt Mode tilt support. With this, I can turn up the tilt strength. And now, if I use my brush straight on, it's a normal stroke. But if I come in at an angle, that will be reflected in the stroke. This is still an experimental feature. I think it still has a few bugs to work out, but it does work with the XP Pen Pro tablets. This is a sculpt I've been working on with my tablet. Another area in Blender that makes great use of the graphics tablet is Grease Pencil. Now, I myself am not a huge 2D artist, so my examples here won't be very earth-shattering. But I figured I could at least show you how it works. Currently, my pressure sensitivity is turned on for both radius and strength. So if I shut this off for radius, and then just use it for strength, you see I can get some nice fade in and fade out lines. If I remove both pressure sensitivities here, you can see I get some pretty decent results. If I go ahead and enable the pressure sensitivity on the radius, you see I can get some pretty decent results here as well. So let me talk about my experience with the 13.3 tablet and now with the 15.6 tablet. Keeping in mind that XP Pen did send me the 15.6, but I myself did purchase the 13.3. Going into buying the 13.3, I was under the impression that this was going to be a discount tablet, that I was really going to be sacrificing some kind of quality because I wasn't paying anywhere near as much as some of the Wacom Cintiq tablets that I was looking at the same time. And of course, those were way out of any kind of price range that I could realistically afford, so I really wasn't going to be able to get one. So I wasn't sure quality-wise really what to expect after I purchased the 13.3. I had heard some good reviews, and so I was hopeful. When I got it in, I found that it really does have a sturdy build. It's got a good weight to it. It's not flimsy, but also it's not a brick. So you could have it in your lap if you've got it connected with a long enough cable. I've been meaning to try using a standard USB-C extension cable to see if that will work, but I haven't gotten around to trying that yet. That is on my to-do list, to see if I can use that then as an extension so I can really sit further back from my computer and just use the tablet. I do have to say that the drivers that initially came with my 13.3 weren't really the best. I did have some trouble getting them installed and working perfectly. They worked for the most part, but there was some quirky stuff happening with some of the buttons. However, with the newer versions that have come out, I haven't had any of those troubles anymore, and so it seems like whatever issues they were having with those older drivers have been resolved with the newer drivers. So that's definitely a plus. This is the stand that comes with the tablet. It's a single position stand. It's made with a pretty decent rigid plastic, but you can only extend it to one angle. So if you want your tablet at a higher angle, you're going to have to come up with some other kind of stand. For me, since these were my first graphics tablets, the angle really hasn't been a big deal. But if you're wanting something to be propped up like a normal monitor, you're going to need to come up with some other solution to make that work. The screen on the 13.3 is holding up really well. You can definitely see that it is used. There are some marks on it, but it's really not distracting in any way. So that tablet is still in really good shape even after a couple of years of use. The 15.6 so far is working great screen-wise. It's a good brightness. I don't feel like it's a overly dim screen, which is great. So it feels good that way. Now, I have had the opportunity to try out a couple of the larger Cintiq tablets before, like their 24-inch tablet, and it's a completely different build quality. Those things are built like tanks, and so there really isn't a big comparison there. Also, I've used one of the Intuos medium-sized Pro tablets for a while, the non-display graphics tablet, and and I gotta say, the responsiveness has really been very similar between that graphics tablet and this display graphics tablet. So I really don't feel like I'm giving up anything as far as input quality goes between these devices. So when it comes down to it, if you're looking for a graphics display tablet like this and you don't have a huge budget to spend, I would definitely recommend at least checking out the XP Pen Artist Pro series. So they are reasonably priced tablets. The 13.3, if it's not on sale, will run you about $280. Right now, as the recording of this video, it's on sale for 15% off on their website for $238. So that's a really great deal. The 15.6 will run you about $370 list price. So even still, not a bad price for the size of tablet that you're getting. I do have affiliate links down in my description. So if you're interested in purchasing them and you want to support the channel, that's one way to do that. So check out those links if you will. Now, I do realize my needs are probably substantially less than some other graphic artists. But what I've found is for what I need this tablet for, it's very much sufficient for what I need. And I've been really happy with it. Give it a look, do your own research, and if you decide to go this way, I'd love to hear about your experience with XP Pen as well. Again, this was sponsored by XP Pen, and I'm really grateful for the upgrade they gave me to a 15.6 tablet. I also want to thank my Patreon supporters. You all are great. I really appreciate all of the support that you've been giving and continue to give. And I just, from the bottom of my heart, I really want to thank you for that. If you're interested in becoming a Patreon supporter, the link for that is also in my description. So I hope this information is helpful if you're looking for a graphics tablet display like this. And I hope this inspires you to make something awesome. So until next time, I'll catch you later.